What's up, everybody? My name is Marco Dupa. That right there is Adam Obeses Rodriguez. And Drunk Dave Romero.
What's up, everybody?
Tonight's brew.
So pleasant.
It comes straight from Birmingham, Alabama.
You're supposed to kick it to me.
I was
remember?
about to. Jesus
You
Christ.
were not.
Yes, I was.
No. Anyway,
Kick it to him.
It's been kicked. Dave?
today's brew is the coffee oatmeal flavored stout from Good People Brewing, all the way from Birmingham, Alabama. You're welcome. I was actually in Birmingham this week working, and just wanted to grab a local brew since we've been exhausting the supply at our local liquor store.
We have.
So this is cool. I'm glad I have the opportunity to get local brews wherever I go.
All right. We're glad. And the One Baron Podcast should be glad. Listeners, here we go. This is the One Baron Podcast. Ready?
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
Oh, yes.
I'm thirsty, and this quenches my thirst.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that's good. Oh, yeah.
So, this is the first time we've tried Good People because they are pretty much only in Birmingham.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
Yeah,
Nope.
they have actually a pretty extensive selection to choose from. They had the Snake Handler Imperial or Double IPA, and then they had the Fatso Imperial Double Stout. Those are actually brewed once every 3 months, but the guy that I was talking to about it said that they haven't canned it in over a year.
Jeez.
Why?
Don't know.
You didn't ask why?
I was in a rush.
It's higher ABV, so it may take longer to brew. It may be more expensive for them to do.
Maybe, but
Maybe
they
there's not
have it
as
on
high a
tap.
demand.
They have it on tap at the brewery.
Oh.
It's
They-
cheaper to
Oh,
have it on tap, too.
That's the other thing.
so-
You remember that that story we talked about? How here they were trying to pass a bill for local breweries that they weren't going to be able to.
The growler law, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they couldn't sell 6-packs out of their
local breweries.
their
Right.
brewery. They had to go
Right.
through a distributor. That's happening in Birmingham because I went to the brewery to buy a 6-pack, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't sell that here. You have to go down to this place."
Right.
And so I
Yeah.
had to rush down the street to grab it.
That sucks.
It's
Stupid.
insanely inconvenient now
Yeah.
that I think about it.
yeah. Just imagine it's inconvenient for you to have to go somewhere else. Imagine how it is for them.
Right.
Brewing that shit and then
Like,
having to pay somebody else.
It's here
to
in these,
can it,
in these
basically.
giant containers, but we can't sell it to you.
Nope.
Sorry.
It's crazy.
Regardless, this is a delicious brew.
It
is.
And
much is.
we are going to switch gears halfway through and try out their IPA as well.
Yeah.
I'm
Right
excited
on.
for that.
Foreshadowing.
But since we're still on the coffee oatmeal, what do you guys think?
I like it. Giving it a 4.5.
I like it a lot. Man, I really like this one. I think I'm going to go for the 5.
Oh.
I'm going to give it a 5 also.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is delicious. It's the One Bear Podcast. No.
Play it again.
No, I'm a really big fan of stouts, period, except Lion Stout. And this is delicious. It's very, very tasty.
Yeah.
You can taste the oatmeal in it. I'm not a big fan of coffee, but I like coffee flavored things.
Which doesn't make sense,
It's-
but
I know,
sure, why
I know.
not?
I don't
Yeah.
like. Okay,
It
let me
sounds so
explain.
backwards.
If coffee, like, I like a hint of coffee in things. So like frappuccino, or like
It's a very high school girl drink.
I know. What's that cake is tiramisu? It has like a slight coffee taste to it. Stuff like stouts, coffee flavored stouts.
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff.
But you'll never
actual
have-
coffee.
Would you ever have an espresso?
I think we had tried that thing that you had. No?
Not an espresso. That was espresso. That was pretty much iced Cuban coffee. Espresso is just straight up shot of.
I mean,
raw.
I will try anything once, so yeah, I'll try it.
I'll make it for you. I'll make it so you like it.
Okay.
In
I'll
other
take
words,
that.
just mostly sugar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And milk.
And milk.
It's gotta have
milk.
milk in it. No milk?
No milk in espresso.
No.
Straight.
It's too strong for that.
All right.
Straight,
all right.
brah.
I'll take just the sugar. We'll see how it goes.
Got a hard line.
Oh, you'll love it. You'll love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
All right.
We'll put it in a syringe, shoot it right into that vein. You hooked.
So yeah, we're going 5, Obi 5, Dave
Conservative 4.5.
4.5. All right.
I can dig it.
There you go. And we're gonna like you said, we're gonna go after the IPA later on. But for now, coffee oatmeal. It's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
This is the One Baron Podcast, episode 41.
Uno.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was on WWE Network like I do,
Of
like
course.
I bees.
Here we go again.
Goes without saying.
No, okay, look. I don't want to harp on professional wrestling longer than I need to,
But I'm going
But
to.
I will.
but I need to get the point across. Now, WWE 2K15 is the new installment of their video game series. It's gone through many names, many series, whatever, right?
Yep.
I haven't got to play it yet, but I know like about the modes and stuff, and you know, this isn't a review of the video game, but there is an aspect to the game called create a wrestler, and what people can do is they can create a wrestler and then they can upload it to the online servers, and everybody can download the character and use it in their game. So you can have like Superman. It's kind of like
I think I heard about this.
yeah, you might have. It's a little big.
I passed right over it because it was wrestling.
Yeah, but it's they make a good point, or they bring up a good argument. Anyway, it's like Guacamelee with the skins. People create the skins and then upload it to the servers, and everybody can download it and use the skins.
Or
Basically, the
Little
same.
Big Planet, where
Yeah, exactly.
person created stuff.
Same concept.
User content.
Yeah.
User created content, right?
Boom.
So, people have been creating a wrestler named Chris Benoit. Now, if you don't know anything about wrestling, you probably might have still heard the name Chris Benoit about, I think it was in 2007 maybe. Chris Benoit murdered his wife and his child and then committed suicide. It's a very dark story. And it sucks because Chris Benoit is one of the best wrestlers of all time. Technical wise, he's one of the best to ever do it. He knew how to make a show. He knew how to make it entertaining. He's very athletic. He knew how to make fake fighting basically look incredibly real. They call it taking a bump. He knew how to do that with the best of them. He was very good at it. Some consider him the greatest to ever wrestle. And it's just an awful story, you know, that he killed his family. Not going to harp on that too long. Now, the reason that people have been making this character and uploading it because Chris Benoit was very popular.
Right.
Like he was a champion, a multiple-time champion. When he came over from WCW, he's one of the most anticipated wrestlers to come to the WWE from WCW. He's very, very popular guy. And, you know, it's been about a decade or close to since, it's been a couple, like what, 7-8 years since the tragedy happened. And you know, people have short-term memory, you know, like you can make 9/11 jokes now and stuff like that. People let those things go. And that's what's been happening with Chris Benoit.
I'm going to break your hand if you keep hitting the table like that.
Sorry. So people have been making him and uploading the content. And what's been happening is the admins of the online community have been deleting the Chris Benoit character.
Probably because he's a murderer.
But that's my question, though.
He is a murderer, Marco.
No, I'm not questioning if
He
he's
did
a
it.
murderer.
You haven't asked anything yet.
My question is basically, is that okay to delete and that's why this, you know, it doesn't matter that it's wrestling. It's just the content itself, because
Right.
they're deleting. They said, you know, if it was an Adolf Hitler character, we would delete that also. It's not the fact.
I don't think
But
so. That'd be pretty funny.
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if
That
that's
would
the
be pretty
case.
funny.
I think that WWE, because when it happened, the first day it happened, no details were out. It was just that he died, his kid died, his wife died. It was very tragic. No one knew what happened. So they had this they had a whole episode of Raw dedicated to Chris Benoit. Everybody was crying. It was very emotional. The next week, once they got all the details, they were like, fuck that guy. We're going to act like he never even existed. And
Right.
he has basically been erased from the WWE history books since that day.
Yeah.
And that's what they've been trying to do with this character. People, I mean, there's like hundreds of them that have been uploaded of people, like different variations of people uploading this Chris Benoit character, and people, they'll get it, download it, use it in the game. A writer for Kotaku, he downloaded the character, then he re-uploaded it after he was done writing his article, it's a pretty good article if you want to check it out. And then he got banned for uploading the Chris Benoit character. So not only are they deleting people's user-created content, they're banning people if they upload stuff like that.
Well, when you play anything online, one of the things you do is you skip the EULA. And in the EULA, you pretty much agree to having the same ethics and morals as the game company. They have the authority, if they see fit, to delete any and all user content that is considered inappropriate.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's their play box or their
and
sandbox for you to play
Who
in.
makes it 2K?
Take-Two games, 2K, and...
well, I doubt any of them would want to be...
or maybe it's just 2K. I'm not sure, but...
Would want to be related to a murdering wrestler who killed a child and a woman.
That's true.
His own family.
Yeah.
I mean, and I understand that. Why would anybody want to be associated with that? That makes perfect sense.
Right.
I mean, but I see what you're saying. From a wrestling standpoint, yeah, he does probably deserve to be remembered somewhat. But his actions kind of overrode that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same argument with Pete Rose. Pete Rose is he's one of the best hitters in baseball.
A legend.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the greatest to ever do it. And they won't put him in the Hall of Fame because when he became a manager, he was betting on his own games. So
that's not so bad.
It was a pretty big deal then.
That's not so bad.
Well, the fact that it was such a big deal then, they just haven't let it go.
Right. He's still blackballed.
Yeah, and he'll probably never make it to the Hall of Fame. And that's the same with Chris Benoit, which, I mean, his issue is obviously way more serious than that. But he'll never make it into the WWE Hall of Fame. Like there's a 0% chance he will ever be even mentioned for that. And it's because of his actions. Now, some people say you should be able to separate the character from the real person. The persona, the on-screen persona, should be voted into the Hall of Fame because of what he contributed to the business, to the company, and to the culture of wrestling. But it's hard to separate the human being from the character.
It goes right along with what we were talking about with Bill Cosby.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
Because sure, he has classic material from decades and decades and decades ago, and that will forever be funny material. But now you see him in a completely different light.
Right.
So I mean, same with Chris Benoit, if not even worse.
Right.
In that situation. So it's a tough decision because I'm all for people being able to kind of put out whatever they want, especially when you buy a game, you kind of should get some leeway as far as I want this content in here. I made it myself. It's no sweat off your back.
Right.
But I think I kind of have to side with the WWE on this one. Yeah. I get where they're coming from, and I frankly understand why they don't want to be associated whatsoever with him or him as a character even.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, and like I said, that's understandable. Like, you don't feature him. And what's interesting, though, is that they haven't taken off any of his matches on the WWE Network.
Really?
Yeah. His main events, pay-per-views, they're still on there.
Just see if those got a little bump off of the character creation.
Yeah, maybe. My problem is not the content itself. It's the fact that, I mean, you said it before, Dave, that people don't read the terms and agreement. And I guess maybe they should, but I think maybe something like that should be explicitly stated that, hey, we're not going to stand for you putting stuff out there. Like, I just feel like if they're asking people, they're saying, hey, be creative and put this stuff out there. And then when people are,
but within reason, man, don't.
But where do you draw that line though? Where's the reason?
Adolf Hitler.
But
even though that'd be funny.
What exactly? How long is it going to take for creating a Chris Benoit character to just be funny?
I don't think it ever will be.
It's not going to be funny.
Adolf Hitler murdered 6 million people.
Yeah, but
he almost genocided a whole culture.
But he lost the war.
He did lose, and here's the thing.
He's a bitch.
He is a bitch.
He does look like a bitch.
We've seen him in Inglourious Bastards. It's great. Here's the thing, though. with Adolf Hitler, not only has there been more time, but there have been more, I'd say, attempts at parody for that. I think that he was such a big character in this world that we're able to do that as a society, to say that this guy's a joke.
Yeah.
You know? But Chris Benoit is such sort of a smaller and personal
niche
thing.
I would also like to mention that when he died, they did an autopsy on him, and his brain was so damaged.
Mm-hmm.
They said that he had the equivalent of an 85-year-old man's brain.
Yeah.
That he had early onset dementia. He had multiple concussions. Most of them were undiagnosed or untreated.
Right.
So he could have just been sick.
No, he was definitely sick.
Oh, yeah. Just like the football players at Snap.
Yeah, that's
Same situation.
I just feel like that's something that needs to be said, that he wasn't just an angry guy who just murdered his kids or kid and wife for no reason. Like that. He was
so
sick.
he probably needed help.
Yeah.
Yep.
And nobody knew.
It's a very sad story, but it's also a terrible one, and you can't, obviously you can't ask him what he was thinking. Why would you do something like that? So we have to go off of speculation and the story alone. And obviously I don't think we should vote him into the Hall of Fame, but I think my point is not Chris Benoit. It's the fact that, where does it end when it comes to patrolling user created content, regardless of what it is? Where does it end?
Well, I mean, I think it's definitely up to the person that, made that game or is in control of that property. So it's up to WWE to determine what is acceptable and what isn't within that realm.
I just feel like they open the doors for people, and then once the doors are open, they're like, whoa, you can't bring all that in there. Like, well, you're going way too far right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate, but I mean, that's kind of the way it is, especially with a corporation as big as WWE. There are certain things that I'm sure they don't want to be associated with. Whether your intentions are good or not. Like, if somebody makes an Adolf Hitler character, of course, we're going to think of it as parody. But what if there's that one psychopath that's out there going, yeah, I want to fight as Hitler and beat up all the black people?
But, who stopped? Like, why should we stop that person?
I mean, it's not my responsibility, but WWE finds it as their responsibility because that's their product. That that person can upload a video of them as Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, that sort of representation can be tied to them. Like, they let this guy make Adolf Hitler and beat up black people.
Right, and then there's a news story, and it's on Tumblr.
Right, and it falls down to, if something like that were to happen, no one's going to look at the person who uploaded the video. They're going to say, WWE, let them do this.
Yep. This video game allowed me to do this, or allowed me to see this content that made me upset.
And that's not how it should be.
Nope.
Like, WWE, like, they should just let people, like, look, we gave you these. I mean, okay, then again, they shouldn't even they shouldn't give you the parameters to create a Hitler character.
So any Hitler-esque features should be blocked.
What if you're making Michael Jordan and you want that little mustache?
He rocked that mustache for like a month.
Good. It was gross.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying, though. Where do you draw that line? Where do you draw that line?
I don't know, Mark. Where do you draw the line?
I don't think there should be a line. If it's user created, if they're...
You say that until something offends you.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I just, it's hard for me to come to grips with that, to let that be okay.
Right. It feels like censorship.
That's what I'm saying.
It feels like that, but I don't know. It's
hard for me to reason that. It's hard for me to let that be.
Right. And it feels like censorship, but you have to realize when you're dealing with a property like that, it's not. Even if you buy the game, it's really still not yours. That property is not yours. It's not. You didn't buy stake in that company by buying that game, unfortunately. So they have to set those parameters.
But okay, going back to what you said for a second, if it did offend me, I just wouldn't play it. When people say things on Facebook that offend me or post videos that offend me, I just ignore them.
Yeah, tell that to Australia.
True.
Who pulled GTA off the shelves for violence against women.
Yeah, and there's a whole nother thing with that, too.
Yeah, there's a blog post about that on our official One Beer In blog that I wrote.
Did you?
So,
when did you post that?
last week.
About Australia?
Partially. It was about GTA.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, so everybody check that out.
I read the one about is it worth the double dip?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you I don't know you played enough GTA to post about it, Adam.
Yeah, how do you know about it? You don't know.
Speculation.
Anyway, I
Right.
think we should move along. It's
Yes.
kind of a downer.
A little bit.
But I do feel like I said, if it was explicitly stated before, like, we will delete user-created content if we feel it's inappropriate, then what's inappropriate? You can't really answer that question.
You too many questions, man.
I'm sorry.
It's all
I'm sorry.
subjective.
Right.
It is, yeah. You're
Every
right.
single thing you're saying is subjective.
They would
right.
never specify. They would never say you're
right.
not allowed to have swastikas, you're not allowed to have this, because then the list would be like,
Endless. And then
and-
there would be, well, I'm Hindu. Why can't I use a swastika?
right.
Yeah.